When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yo, whoa. What up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Blood Splatter Chatter, continuing Horror Fest 2025 with a classic, one of the most influential zombie films, definitely of all time, one of the most important films of the 70s, talking about Dawn of the Dead, aka Zombie, as it's known overseas. And this was, as I said, man, this is it's so influential, not just like on zombie films, but on post-apocalyptic films. This is one of the first big horror films that dealt with this subject matter. We wouldn't have so many movies that came after this. The Walking Dead and so many zombie films are so heavily inspired by this that it's pretty wild, man. But my buddy with me, who's always with me and who's a big zombie fan himself, the Missing Link. What up, dude?
Yo. Happy to be here talking about this. This is not to get too far into it, but this is a weird one where it's like the Argento cut is badass and the Romero cut is equally. Part of me, I will dive into that later, but part of me wants to like fan edit or amalgamate certain pieces of the movie together for like the ultimate cut.
Definitely, yes, and we'll get into that. 100%, I love that. And Big Stu couldn't make it. He couldn't make this one, so I reached out to a friend. I phoned a friend, and Wes showed up to join us, man. We were just talking about it backstage, but one of the reasons why I was happy that Stu was going to be on the show is because he'd never seen it, which is always a cool thing. But then I was very happy and surprised to find out that first watch for you as well, man. So appreciate you being here. Welcome back.
Yeah, this was my first time. I'm actually really interested. Now you mentioned multiple cuts. I watched just whatever was available on Amazon Prime. I'm assuming that's the theatrical cut.
Yeah, US cut. There's a US, and then there's like an Italian/European Asian cut.
Yeah, I want to definitely check out other cuts because there was parts of this movie. It wasn't what I expected. It surprised me in a lot of ways.
Right.
And I found it really interesting. And I'm sure we'll get into like the plot and like how things go, later on in the episode. But I was really surprised just by kind of the pacing and so I'm really interested in seeing other cuts of it for sure.
Definitely, man. Well, yeah, we can kind of start there. Well, let me first just set up like how it came to be, and kind of like we were mentioning backstage, Wes. For the longest time, I think I only saw this movie, the original Dawn of the Dead, for the first time like 3-4 years ago. So I did not grow up with it. I'd always heard of it. You know what I mean? It's one of those names you hear of. But I don't think for a long time I even realized that it had anything to do with Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. It should have been obvious. But the reason why there's the separation, there's basically two franchises that grew out of Night of the Living Dead. And Joe Russo or John Russo, I think it's John Russo. He was the co-writer and co-producer of Night of the Living Dead with George A. Romero. And after that, there was a split. And basically what it ended up being was that John Russo owned the rights to the Living Dead title. So he could name Return of the Living Dead, and that franchise became his. That was his project going onward. And George Romero wasn't able to use Living Dead, so hence Dawn of the Dead, which, let me just ask you guys, it's got a better ring than Dawn of the Living Dead, right? Dawn of the Dead or Dawn of the Living Dead? I'd go with Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Even Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead sounds better than Day of the Living Dead. So right. I would say it's a bit of a happy accident. But the way
let me ask you this. Do
please.
You like those series of titles over the Return series?
As far as the movies go?
Or just like in title?
I don't know, because you're right. I mean, well, Return doesn't have the cool... It's just Return of the Living Dead 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have the cool play on, day, dawn, or night, dawn, day. But as far as the movies go, I adore Return of the Living Dead, and I'm a fan of 3, but I love that series. I've never even seen 2, to be honest.
Respect. I prefer the Dawn or the day over the return. I haven't seen. I mean, just because I feel like they take it a little bit more serious, while the return is a bit more fun.
Right, 100%. What up, Kenneth Bird, my brother? Appreciate you guys being here. Rogue, Kenneth.
Oh, never mind. I'll come back to it. It's fucking.
Well, this is what I was gonna say is basically the way it came to be. George Romero, after he was 68 when he did Night of the Living Dead, 1968. Not that he was 68.
Oh,
but
okay.
What did he do after that? He did The Crazies in 73. He did a few other projects, some that weren't straight horror, and then yes, the year before this, he did Martin. I think that came out in 1977, and this came out in 78. By chance, Wes, have you seen Martin?
No. What is Martin?
Martin is like it's just such a it's divisive. I adore it. But it's kind of a character study on this serial killer that either believes he's a vampire or his family partially believes he's a vampire. And it's just a weird ass movie. There's bits in this that remind me of it so much. Just to jump ahead a little bit, you know the bit where they're running around in the mall and they're like, all right, we're gonna run over here, we're gonna bang on some glass, and all the zombies will come over here.
Yeah.
We'll run over there. There's a scene in Martin that is so similar where it's like a home invasion, and he's like calling people on the phone downstairs, and they come to answer. And he's running by, and he sticks him in the neck with this like poison
and then
stuff.
He takes off into another
it's
room.
So similar, like you could really tell it's just, we were talking about it before. In the 70s, it was more like mechanical filmmaking, if that's any way near the right way to say it, where it's just a lot of like, I don't know. We had that in The Hills Have Eyes too. There's bits very, very similar where they're just like, oh, we'll run on this side of the rock and we'll tap them on the shoulder, then we'll run around to the other side or whatever. But the reason why it came to be, he ended up finally deciding to go back to make another zombie movie because he wasn't having any success with the films that he was making up to this point. And he was hanging out with a buddy of his that happened to own this mall. His buddy owned the mall, and he's like, hey, come on, check out my mall. It's a little bit outside of Pittsburgh. And he went there and checked it out, and that's what got the gears spinning. And he's like, this would be a good place to film a movie, could do a zombie movie here. And that's what inspired him to use so heavily like the theme of consumerism and really like got everything rolling on the project. So I always thought that was really cool, and I'm glad. And the other part that I was going to explain is this bit. So then Dario Argento got involved, and that's why it's also called Zombie, because Dario Argento, he put up like a bunch of money, like a good chunk of the money to make the movie, and then he was able to make the European cut was part of the deal. So in the European cut, which he again distributed in Italy and Europe and Asia, he uses way more Goblin score, which there's a little bit of Goblin that's in the American cut. And in the European cut, it's almost all Goblin. And it's badass. It's like, it's way better music than what George Romero uses is stock library. Like, I think it's free, like public domain music. I'm pretty sure is what it is. And it sucks, I think, in a lot of ways. He uses it well, but it's not, because I watched the Argento cut the day before and then I watched the US cut. Comparing them, I'm like, God, like it's so much better as far as the score goes.
It gives the Argento cut has like anytime Goblin scores something, it gives it such like a unique feel or like vibe, I guess, you know. And there is like a scene like when Peter's escaping at the end, he's like, fuck it, and does that badass break for the helicopter. In the Romero cut, there's like this A-Team music going on. It's like I get it, but after seeing the Argento cut, bro, like you're like the Argento cut. Yeah,
it is. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Talk to Argento. But it's cool. But like, also, it's really Argento made some strange decisions. It's about 8 minutes shorter. So the one thing he did is he cut out a lot of. He still shows like little bits where you see the zombies like walking around being silly or whatever, but he'll cut that up and make it not so long. And then he cuts out a fair bit of like dialogue. Some of the dialogue that they're having on the helicopter, he cuts almost all of it out, so there's just a little bit left, and a lot of bits like that throughout the whole movie with a little bit of character development and a lot of the humor, which is really similar, but in reverse, what Argento did with Deep Red. The U.S. cut, he cut out the humor and he cut out the character development, and he left it in for the European cut, and he did the opposite for this one for whatever reason. But I would say at this point, I prefer the Argento cut. It's harder to get. I had to buy this goofy ass copy. There is a nice like $45 edition that comes with like 4 different cuts of the movie that's out now on 4K.
I like the only part I would include in the Argento cut is like there's a good bit of moments that I something I think it adds to the film is like where they're kind of like ruminating in the mall, just kind of doing shit. Like that's unless I'm wrong, that's like way more chopped up in the Argento cut compared to
for sure.
I think there's something that adds to that in the Romero cut where it's kind of like it makes sense. Like these, you know, it's kind of like the calm before the storm almost, you know. But in the Argento cut, it's kind of like shit happens and then it's like they get attacked. But there's one scene that I did like in the Argento cut where I thought it worked better without all the dialogue was when Flyboy and I'm forgetting the actress's name, but they're having dinner and he kind of proposes to her, and like in the Romero cut, she's like gives this explanation as to why, you know, it wouldn't be right. But in the Argento cut, there's like no dialogue. It kind of there's like there looks, so she kind of doesn't say, she just gives the ring back, and it's kind of like you understand her why she would do that at this point. Like, you know, she didn't need to say shit about why she's turning him down. But that's the only scene I thought worked a little bit better. Oh, and when Flyboy is first, like when Peter is like, "Come on, Flyboy," he's got to run down the hall past all the zombies and shit. When when Peter's shooting his rifle, it's got a different sound. But there's also one other scene where it's like a small subtle scene, but it's like it shows like these zombies like turning their head to like the gunfire, like in telling the audience like Peter's alerted zombies. In the Romero cut, there's none of that, you know. And I thought that was a little a cool little extra bit in the Argento cut. Kind of made sense as to why.
I'll tell you the weirdest cut that he made, and then we can move on from this, but he doesn't show the zombie get his head cut off or the top of his head cut off by the helicopter. That's not in the Argento cut. Wow. I thought that's such a strange decision, but I think it kind of like tonally, it is silly. I kind of see like if that was his idea to make the movie less silly and more of a horror movie, then I guess I get why he did it. But I would, you know what I mean? That was a bit of an odd decision for me.
Yeah, that was a cool effect. I like that.
I will throw out there real quick for you guys in the chat hangout. I did prepare. I'm not going to give any Jason masks away because I I didn't get my shit together. I will be giving out at least one other Jason mask to you folks in the chat coming up here during Horror Fest. But I did prepare a little bit of trivia just for some fun a little bit later. Just one little segment called Name That Zombie, where I'm going to show you guys a picture of a zombie and you tell me if you know the movie said zombie is from. But just for funsies, we'll play that a little bit later. So stick around for that. But Wes, I wanted to throw it to you first on this one. Just like zombies in general, I think since starting this channel, the zombie subgenre and maybe like the demon subgenre are the two that I've found that I'm like a way bigger fan of than I realized. I think I've introduced myself to a lot of zombie movies that I hadn't seen before. And Lick, I always go back to what you said. You pointed out you're like, I like a physical threat in my movies. And I just never thought of it that way, but it is like zombies have that where there's like the physical threat, not so much supernatural, but also like an action element. You know what I mean? That you get in a lot of zombie movies that you might not necessarily get in a ghost movie or something like that. But I love them. I've really it's come to be one of my favorite subgenres. But where do you stand on the subgenre? And do you have any favorites you want to highlight?
Yeah, I think just like any horror subgenre, there's so much that can be done with zombies.
Yeah.
And actually, while watching this movie, I was discussing with my partner who I was watching with, and I was like getting ideas for like that I wasn't sure if had been explored in zombie movies before. Like, has there ever been a zombie movie where like the entire movie is like say the person gets bit in like the first scene and the entire movie is just them like slowly becoming more and more infected. Yeah, the whole transition is the movie.
There's a like, VHS.
Yeah,
sure.
Kind of like
it's not a feature-length film, but there is like remember that link? There's like a 10-minute zombie short where the dude gets bit. And I think it's like In a Violent Nature, but zombie, but a short.
You kind of see his. I get what you did. That's when I think was that the one where it's kind of just showing like him walking around as a zombie or some shit.
Yeah,
like
if I remember right, they're like out in the woods. Yeah.
I mean, like there's just so much you can do with the subgenre, and And like, I think George A. Romero kind of started that trend off of kind of, and I don't even know if he was trying to necessarily with the first one with Night of the Living Dead, but like, he kind of elevated the genre a little bit into being more like commentary, and there's there's a layer of satire to it, which is really interesting. And like I don't know if there's like a ton of zombie movies that I love, but it's definitely like a rich subgenre that I think has so much potential, and like definitely has a lot of standout films. Like I love the original Night of the Living Dead a ton. Same. And Train to Busan is incredible. Yes. So I mean, there's so many great zombie films out there. It's definitely a subgenre I would like to like dive into more, though, for sure. Yeah,
right. I think we did a zombie fest. I think it was 2 Januaries ago, not last January, but the one before, and that was doing those like little fests, like this little Road to Halloween thing that we just did. I always go into it like thinking, oh, I'm a fan of this, and then I come out at the other end like loving the subgenre so much more and learning so much about it. But just the original Night of the Living Dead, he didn't like intend. I think you kind of alluded to it. He never intended to really make much social commentary on that.
Right.
He claims. I don't know how much I buy it. He says that none of that was intentional. The part of, now I'm forgetting his name, Ben, which ended up being played, I forget the actor's name, but ended up being played by a black guy.
Dwayne Jones, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
That was never, it was written for a white guy. They changed almost none of the dialogue, but Dwayne Jones made him a little bit less gruff than the original character was, and the ending was going to end the exact same way. Romero swears up and down, never thought of it, just guy came in, was the best guy for the role, gave him the part, didn't change anything. So that way, spoiler alert, when you get, I won't get into details, but we all know what I'm talking about. When you get the end of Night of the Living Dead, this came right after the assassination of Martin Luther King. So it was one of the most heated times in the history of the country, especially with race relations, and it very much became like a symbol. All of a sudden, Night of the Living Dead, and Romero was like, he's getting all this credit for this thing that he didn't necessarily do, and he is a progressive guy. I mean, he was definitely it followed his politics, so he was like, okay, so people like that when I did that before on accident. So let's double down, and he did intentionally infuse this one with a bunch of themes. There's a consumerism thing, but there's a lot more which we can dig into as we go. But Steph, I mean, I know we've talked about it, but what do you think it is? What do you think it is, man? Why do you love the zombies? And what's anything you want to throw out? What would you say is your second favorite outside of the 28 Days franchise? Because I know that's your favorite.
When you were talking about that, I was like, Jesus Christ! I was blanking. I was like, I love zombies too, but it's like,
See, I have a list here that I made a long time ago of my top 10, so I could cheat. But sorry, go on.
I actually think Dawn of the Dead might have been the first zombie film I saw as
the OG.
I just remember being really like enthralled by like the whole idea of being stuck in the mall. Like, oh yeah, that would be really fucking cool. Like all the toys and like I was like 8 years old or something when I saw it. So I'm not thinking of the terrible shit that would entail that. But so this one is definitely up there. Besides the 28 Days. I do have a soft spot for Zack Snyder, James Gunn's Dawn of the Dead 2004.
So do I. I would say it's one of the best remakes. It's one of the better remakes.
Yeah.
It's not, it's doing something different than this one. But like at the time that it was so revolutionary, the way that it was filmed and shot. It's like, it's this movie, but like cranked up and much faster paced to, obviously modernize and super stylized. And it's got a great ending too. Won't spoil it. I was gonna say
that kind of.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the sadness, man. The sadness is one. Just to point out some deep cuts, because everybody, Return of the Living Dead, I love the shit out of that. The 28 franchise, I love that. Everybody knows Zombieland, but to throw out some deeper cuts, 2021, it's an Asian zombie movie. The sadness, it's fucking rough. Just to put it this way, when we covered it, it was Stu's, one of the early movies that Stu did on the channel, and he hit me up and he's like, I'm paraphrasing you, Stu, but he's like, I don't know if I want to be like supporting this kind of movie, bro. It's like they do. I mean, these zombies act in a way that you're like, oh my god, hide your kids, hide your wife. Like, it's very, very gnarly and super visceral, but awesome. It's such a badass movie. Another one is just that almost nobody knows of that I highly recommend. It's on Shudder. I'm dying to cover it. We're definitely going to get to it in January for Zombie Fest 2. Is Pontypool. Pontypool. Have you heard that? Or you seen that one?
No, I've seen that one. That's a really interesting film. Yeah.
So crazy. It's so basically in almost every one of the, at least Romero, the early Romero zombie movies. Well, shit, I guess at least the first two. You're always getting little glimpses of the media and like what's going on with the news station or whatever. And this kind of takes you like, oh, what's going on with the radio station? It takes you into the radio station, and you spend the majority of the movie or almost all the movie during the zombie apocalypse in this radio station, and they're just getting calls in like fucking zombies everywhere, trust us. So you do end up seeing a little bit of zombies, but it's mostly just what you're hearing on the radio is painting the picture of what's going on, like theater of the mind stuff. But the lead like DJ host for it has this captivating voice, and he's just such a good character that it's awesome. It's one of those that I saw and I was like blown away by it. Brian Sanchez saying real quick, says, what's up, everybody from Albuquerque, New Mexico? What up, man? Appreciate you being here. For my opinion, I love Dawn of the Dead 1978 and the 2004 remake. So there you go. I'm right there with you, man. I really do. I really do. What's that, Link?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I guess more off the beaten path is like comedic zombie movies. I would say there's this one called Red vs. Dead 2. If I'm not mistaken, like this dude has like this zombie arm and he's fighting like Nazi zombies. It's like a dark comedy.
Is it fun. Red versus? Is that Dead Snow? Dead Snow.
Dead Snow. That's what. Dead Snow 2.
There we
Red
go.
versus Dead, I think is what it's called. And then Cooties is a fun one. It's got like Elijah Wood, Rainn Wilson. It's about these teachers at school that work at a school, and these kids get like infected with like. It's like 28 Days Later. They're not really zombies. It's like, but they act like zombies. It's like kid rabies, and it's a comedy. It's about teachers that gotta escape like the school. It's got Dwight from The Office. It's funny. It's funny as hell. And of course, Shaun of the Dead, classic.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably one of my favorite movies. It was on so much, like back in the day on TV. I could watch that movie every day of my life. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people. It's like a super comfort movie.
Absolutely.
It's like The Price is Right of fucking zombie movies. You know what I mean? That you watch when you stay home from school.
That's a great way to describe it.
There was one more I want. Oh, Brain Dead, Dead Alive, man. Made by Peter Jackson, 1992, like a decade before. I don't know when he did the Lord of the Rings movies, but way before the Lord of the Rings movies. It's wild. It's like a picture like Evil Dead as far as the practical effects go, and just like the crazy tone, like the splat stick tone, but with like a real love story and real characters. I think it takes place in New Zealand or wherever Peter Jackson is from, but it's like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's insane and it's super funny, and it has like the best practical effects ever in a zombie movie, but like funny at the same. Have you seen it, Wes?
I've seen like parts of it. I really want to see it. It's kind of hard to track down.
They're coming out with they're making a 4K right now. They're like in the process of restoring it and everything for 4K.
Yeah, I'll definitely grab that then because I want to see that.
I really hope it's out by January. I have a feeling it's not going to be now that I'm looking at it. But all right, well, let's dig into a little bit deeper into Dawn of the Dead, man. Go ahead and start with you, Link. Just like in general, how was the rewatch for you?
It was awesome. Like I was telling you backstage, I actually watched the Argento cut first, and then I watched the Romero cut. When we covered it a few years ago in Robbie's, I don't think I had really seen it in a few years, so it was like watching it for the first time. But rewatching it this time, it was a really cool experience to kind of like see, especially with the contrast. I think I was more fascinated with like the differences, or like me wanting to like amalgamate the films and make them the ultimate cut. But no, it was super cool. Like it's one of the best zombie films. I was thinking about like how it's crazy how much he leveled up in between like Night of the Living Dead and between Dawn. And I was thinking like a contrast would be like your first film nowadays, you filmed in your basement, you know,
Right.
and then for your sequel, you get like a CGI character. That's like,
Right.
you know, that's like, because he's got like helicopter shots, all these epic sweeping views of shit throughout this movie. It was super fun. Love the characters. I remember feeling like there were like more characters, but it's really just a small group. Like fucking 20 days later, you know, core 4. But just it's iconic. I had a great time with it. We're rewatching both. I was actually very surprised. Doing rewatches can be a little intimidating sometimes, but I think maybe it's because it was like there were differences I was looking out for that made it not so intimidating.
Kind of like an academic watch
awesome.
on the that's kind of what I did with the second watch. Nice. All right. Well, Wes, I know you already said it's first time watch for you. What'd you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, this movie was kind of surprising to me in both like good and like kind of ways. Like I wasn't expecting it. So like in a lot of ways, I do think it'll hit better when I watch it again. Like because I'm gonna watch this again at some point in my life. I thought it was, you know, good enough for that. Like I really enjoyed, you know, a lot the way it handled some of its themes. Like I thought it was the consumerist aspect that it was commenting on was very interesting. And I thought it was interesting that like the rednecks were like just having a heyday with the zombies. They were they were having good. They were having fun.
I don't think that's too far off from reality.
No, not at all.
You know what I think, and not even just that they're rednecks, although that might help. But like, there was something to me. Correct me or not correct me if you guys felt differently. Then you know, speak your piece. There was something to COVID, and I know that's not the same, but it's the closest thing I can compare it to in my life. That it was almost like fucking Christmas for the first few months. I know people were dying and shit. I'm talking vibe wise in my house and around, you know what I mean? The people that I was seeing, there was this like weird, like holiday, like fucking feeling. I don't know. Everybody was off work. There was something strange about it that I think would kind of, we romanticize the apocalypse.
A little bit, yeah.
We romanticize all the people on Earth being gone for some fucking weird reason, and I think zombie movies, in this one in particular, like play with that idea.
Yeah, and that was another thing that was both interesting to me and something that I wasn't prepared for. Was the kind of the meandering, like, and I don't say that as an insult at all. Like, just kind of like the slower paced scenes of them just like kind of chilling out at the mall. That took up way more screen time than I ever could have expected, and like because I wasn't prepared for it, I was kind of like, all right, when zombie stuff gonna happen again?
Right.
But like I think like now that I know what the film was going for, and like, you know, I've seen it from beginning to end, and you know, I've thought about it and kind of digested it. I think upon rewatch, like I'll be able to appreciate those scenes more. But on a first time viewing, not knowing that it's really gonna dive into that aspect of the film, it was kind of like hard to kind of get into the groove with at first.
Totally.
But like I think the way it handled its themes was really interesting, and the gore effects was fantastic. Like the big chunks that were coming out of people's arms and stuff.
Love that.
So gross. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful.
Especially the one here in the corner. I think that's one of my favorite zombie effects ever. It looks really easy to do, but just like it's so cool. We don't see a lot of that. Like I want to see more zombies bite into shoulders and you know what I mean? Just like rip flesh off bodies. It is super cool.
Big chunks.
They made it look like a snack.
Yeah, she kind of looked yummy a little bit.
She does look a little yummy.
Like I want to bite.
As far as the pace goes, I'm like 100% right there with you. It used to throw me off more on subsequent watches. I appreciated it more. And then honestly, on the most recent watches, I still find myself just like losing attention. I'm not like laser focused on it because the film isn't asking you to be laser focused on it for large chunks of the movie. I look at it now like all monsters and most horror movies in general are like representing death, or it's like trying to like just think of all the monsters: vampires dead, Frankenstein dead, mummies dead, zombies are dead. Like most of them are, it's all about death. And the way that zombies represent death in this movie, like that pacing bit where it's slow, is like the idea of like death is ever lingering.
Death is
You
always-
might
yep.
forget about it. You might chill. You might
Always
get bored. You
coming
might
up.
start fucking off with your buddies in the mall and stuff like that. But it is right there, and if you slip up, it will get you. And I think that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah,
About the
I mean, that's a
pacing
really
of it.
interesting. That's a great take on it. And the next time I rewatch it, that's going to be on my mind for sure. Because
Nice.
yeah, I think it has the potential to like be like something that really hits. You know, like,
Right. I think
as it has for other people.
watch the Argento cut next time. I do
Yeah.
think it's a movie that you gotta, if you grow up with it, you think you're gonna like it, but just like so many movies, you were
Right.
probably gonna enjoy it more because of that pacing. It is awfully slow at times. Just a random question: would a mall be a good spot? You guys, you know what I mean? It's got all the things,
I was,
but at the same time, you're putting a target on your back.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is kind of like a fortress, depending on if you know that it's the layout of it, I guess. But I'm very curious to see how these movies age as like malls become not a thing. Like, what is our kids gonna think about? Like, what the fuck is where are they going? Like, why are they?
There's gonna be a movie that we got trapped inside the Amazon app, and we had to, like, this doesn't make any sense. This is getting silly.
That's what the Ice Cube War of the Worlds.
That's one of the things like thematically that I love so much is like the second they get there, the second they get to the mall, they get inside, they look around, look at all this food. And like you're thinking like, oh, they're set. They could never need anything else. And they're like, hell yeah. And then like 2 minutes later, they're like, you guys want to go to the mall and start raiding everything? Like they can't help themselves but put themselves in danger, and they double down on it. They triple down on it. They keep needing more stuff. I think I used to not really appreciate. I always thought it was overblown. People being like, oh, it's this cool movie about consumerism. And I think I used to always take it like, so they say that one line about this place was important to them. They're drawn to it. And I was like, what's the big deal? I don't think I really got it. Like, no, it's them. Like I say it all the time. Like we're the only animal that I know of that is never satisfied. We get bored. Lions don't get bored. They just fuck off all day. But we just have to like keep on trying to improve our situation. They're like, oh, this is good, but it could be a little bit better. And that's what being a human is. That's why we have an economy. That's why we have anything, is because we're never satisfied. So like, again, this is a cool way to kind of show like we can't just chill. We have no chill as a species.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the cast a little bit, man. We have the four main characters. We got Flyboy. We have Peter, played by Ken Foray. We have, I just had her name here, Francine, played by Galen Ross. And
that dude.
What is the dude's name? Roger. Roger, played by Scott H. Reiniger, who I don't know. I've grown to kind of appreciate him, but he's also on my list of most annoying characters in horror history. He's up there with so many of the worst ones because of just the way he reacts at certain times in the movie. But he does have his moments where he's really endearing too. Like in the beginning of the movie, I'm endeared by him. D-dog, yo, son of a bitch. What up, man? He loves the shopping spree montage. Hell yeah, dude. Stick around, man. We're going to play a little bit of trivia just for fun in a little bit here. I got a zombie trivia game. So stick around, you guys, in the chat. But, Link, man, what do you think of the cast?
I'm glad you brought up the Roger dude. Because I did find myself, like, at the beginning of the film, he kind of has, like, this heroic... He almost seems like the main character in a sense.
Which there isn't one, right? There is no main character. Yeah. I find that lacking.
But he quickly delves into, like, you know, the annoying support dude. Even he's endearing. But I'm almost curious if that's kind of like commenting on like the whole like psyche thing when there is no society, there is no structure. Like that person they were is like they delve into their true self. Like that was just an act he kept up for society, and it's like when those structures are gone, there's no rules. Like who is the true person that comes out? And he was kind of like falling into that, I guess.
Right.
I'm curious if there's like an element of that. But the cast was amazing. Like I said, you know, I always felt like there was more people when I was younger, and there's really 4 characters. So that means they were doing their job and making, you know, it doesn't really focus on their situation, but there's enough meat there for you to kind of understand each of their motivations into why they react the way they react, and nothing ever seems kind of like out of character, like, you know, why are they doing this now? Like when every decision they make kind of it lines up to what's been shown to us as a audience member. I now favorites. There's something curiously, there's something in like the Argento cut where I feel like they made Flyboy a little bit more badass. Like there's a lot more just cool scenes of him. Just he's more stoic under pressure. Like, okay, in particular in the scene where they're like getting the car, it almost looks like the DeLorean car, but you know, Flyboy hops in the back, and he shoots that zombie in the face, right? But in the Argento cut, he hops in the back, he aims at the zombie, pow, like he's like Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. But in the Romero cut, there's like a brief scene where he's looking at the zombie right before he shoots, and he's got this like air of fear in his face. You know, I guess it makes him a little bit more vulnerable. But I noticed that Flyboy was a little bit more just cooler in the Argento cut.
It's so hard for me to keep track of the two cuts because the difference is it's not like, oh, we took out 5 minutes here. It's like we took out 5 seconds subtle. Here and 5 seconds here. And it is like it's hard. I mix it all up with what the hell's going on. But that's interesting. I never noticed like a different like in the character.
What helped me for certain scenes I was really taken by, I was watching like the Romero cut on my TV, and then on my tablet I was watching the Argento cut just to contrast if there's any differences in between the scenes. And that was like one of the scenes I found. But I would say Peter.
One thing with him, sorry to jump in, is in the you guys remember when they're talking about the abortion, he's telling people like she's pregnant. And the men are having the discussion like, well, what do you want to do with it? Which is a little fucked up. And she's overhearing it. Yeah. When he goes back in there, in the Argento cut, she says, in both cuts, she says, do you want to have it? And he doesn't really say, I don't know what he says in the Romero cut, but in the Argento cut, he goes, do you? Like, which is telling. It really changes the whole scenario and it makes him sound like more of a dick there. But that's just little things like that are interesting in the two cuts.
He seemed cooler, but he was also colder in the Argento cut with Flyboy. But Peter is my favorite. He was like the same dude in each cut. He was the only person I didn't notice any minute differences in between the cuts. Like, I guess between the A-Team music in the Romero cut and the Badass Goblin score at the end in the Argento cut. But yeah, he was like, you know, he was the only one who kind of was, you know, Flyboy, he was unsure about his girl and about if he wanted the baby and if he wanted to include his girl. His girl was unsure about Flyboy. The Peter dude's kind of going off half-cocked. He's kind of losing his shit. Peter was the only one that kind of kept his, if this is like the Cowboy Bebop crew, he's like the Jet Black, you know? He's the one who's like making sure everybody is, you know, he's like the dad figure. You know, even to the point where it's like, he has to be the one to take out his friend at the end, which is the terrible thing you just do. But after that, he's still trying to help those two men, their relationship. Like he's like helped them put a nice little romantic dinner together. He's like, he's being the chef or the waiter. And she's like, what about you? And he's like, this is for you guys tonight. You know, he's a very selfless character and exhibits that throughout the entire movie.
He's the most noble of all the characters. He kind of feels to me like the lead. I almost wish they would have, because it bugs me, man. I don't like movies. It doesn't bug me that much in this one, but I do prefer, even if it's an ensemble cast, I want it to be a clear-cut lead character in my movie. You know what I mean? I know in the remake, the female character, the blonde, she's the lead, right? I'm pretty sure they do have a lead in that one because it's not something they do almost ever anymore. It's very rare, at least in the horror films that I'm watching and the movies that I'm watching, for there not to be a main character. One thing I wanted that you reminded me of before I sent it to you, Wes, is when Peter has to kill. Why can I never remember this fucking guy's name? When Peter has to kill,
Roger.
When he has to kill Roger, that is pretty much like when they have to kill Lucy in the Dracula movies. It's that scene, and I wonder if this is I think that this is the first time that they've used that in a zombie movie. They do it in Shaun of the Dead with the stepdad. And they do it in a million zombie movies after this and every other episode of The Walking Dead. But I think this is the first time that they took the vampire trope where your friend comes back to life and now they're a monster, we have to kill them, and put it in a zombie movie. And it's one of the most common of all the zombie tropes now.
Yeah.
Crime for Kibble, my man. What up? Appreciate you being here. Says, when those elevator doors open and the zombified flyboy is revealed is the best scene. Number one in any horror movie. I love that, dude. I do love that scene. I don't know if it's my number one, but it's up there. It's a great scene.
Speaking of that, that's another thing I noticed in our Gentle Cut is like they kind of like, I don't want to say they speed past it, but it's kind of like, you know, Flyboy becomes a zombie. It is what it is. Accept it. You know, it's like there's no room for like, damn, Eternalite, like that just happened. It just kind of happens and the movie keeps going. In the Romero cut, there's more like between his partner and Peter. There's more of a dialogue as to like, you know, Flyboy's not coming back. Like in their Gentle Cut, they really kind of just speed past that shit. It's like they spend no time on it. It's like he's not coming. It is what it is, you know. But there's way more time to kind of internalize it in the Romero cut.
Interesting, dude. They filmed a version of the movie where Peter does kill himself at the end before he was dun, 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 dun. Well, that doesn't happen at all, and he does kill himself, and then Francine gets her head cut off by the fucking helicopter blade somehow. So that was
serious?
one version. Yeah, it was very, very, very dark.
What?
But Wes, man, what do you think of the cast in general? If you have any favorites or just your general thoughts on it?
Yeah, I enjoyed them for the most part. I agree with you both about Peter being kind of the standout. He does like not only like was he kind of, I feel like he had the actor who had like the most like gravity to his performance. Like he really gave it a lot of depth, and so like I think that made him stand out a lot more. But like also he had the best lines. I mean, like what's the main tagline? When there's no more room in hell, I will walk here. Like that's like iconic. That's like a legendary line. Like when you're given lines like that, like right,
it's easy to be cool.
Yeah, so he did really good with those. Yeah, I enjoy the cast. I think I agree with you guys about Roger being kind of annoying too. Or was it Roger? Yeah, he's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, we whipped him, didn't we? We whipped him good. Shut the fuck. Just die already, Roger.
He's a little bit pathetic.
Woo!
When he got bit in the leg, I was like, kick him out, throw him out the car. Don't.
He's got to go back for his bag. It's like, dude, how many goddamn bags filled with all those supplies are in the mall? Like,
it was cracking me up how they were wheeling him around in a wheelbarrow. It was a fun time. Yeah, Roger was. I mean, it's definitely like a very unique and interesting cast of characters that you don't see like these type of characters interacting in movies often. You know, you got like the news people and the like, are they cops? What are they? They're like some sort of military, like
security. I was curious about that. Roger and Peter, were they like what
are they? I feel like they're like a SWAT team. I feel like cops of some sort. What the hell
like
were they doing? What were they doing at which I find out now, like the low income housing? I never noticed there's a line. Like, these people live better than I do. Blah blah. They put them up in these hotels or whatever the hell they're at. Why are they going there in the first place? Is it because of a zombie outbreak?
That kind of reminded me of the Purge.
Kill brown people. Like what?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like in the Purge. Okay. So in the Purge, they use that night as a reason to do certain cleansing within the film. Like they go after, people, and it's just They clear minorities and the classism, the poor people and shit, and it's all under the guise of purging. But in this movie, like who's to say? Maybe like they go to like low income housing areas and like poor areas and slaughter the poor because they're infected with, you know, there were zombie infected, but who's like that one dude kind of went crazy and just started shooting fucking everybody. Like maybe situations like that where it's like they're using it's under the guise of like we're cleansing, there's a zombie infected, we had to clear out the whole building. But really it's there, you know, there's ulterior motives,
clearing out the riffraff in their eyes. That's interesting. I never thought of it like that. I've always kind of wondered what the hell they were doing there, but I like that. I'll headcanon that. How about the the one guy? the one guy comes out, he's clearly like face painted brown. He's like, "I'll kill you guys." He's like this white guy doing this Mexican accent, comes out blazing. I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, no way, bro. I was like, there's no way. I was like, I had to pause it. I was like, yeah, that's a dude. You painted his face.
Right.
But I guess I let it slide just because it's like I watched, what is it? Short Circuit, Johnny Number 5.
Yes.
Like, I love those movies, and it still blows my mind that is the dude from one of the Koopas in the Mario Brothers with the cornrows and stuff. Like it's, I don't see it every time I watch the movie. So I guess I was able to let it slide with this one, but I don't think I had ever noticed it before. I was like, bro, you couldn't have found an actual Hispanic person or Puerto Rican, whatever you're going for, like Latin.
Well, it's weird, like those opening scenes. That's what I was saying as far as Roger. Like it's subtle. It's subtle enough how they do it. He doesn't have to speak. He doesn't have to say like, "Hey, I'm not racist," but you just kind of pick up on his reactions to what's going on around him, and like that's at that point in the movie, he's kind of your favorite character. Like until you meet Ken Foray, his interaction with Ken Foray's character. Do you guys read it the same way? They just met in that basement, right? They meet each other, they're pointing guns at each other, and the second they put the guns down, he's like, "Hey, I got a buddy with a helicopter. I don't know you or anything, but you want to live with me and be best friends?" Like, is that how you guys read it too? They don't know each other up until that?
That's how I took it.
I feel like I had glossed. Yeah, I didn't really pick up on that too much. I feel like I glossed over that because it's like their relationship kind of plays like they kind of have. Maybe there's like a time cut in the movie after that scene where it's like they have kind of been,
because it seems like they're tight.
Some,
after a little bit, hey, you're like best friends.
Yeah,
I had wondered that
he's
too.
Like
if there was like some big long time cut, like because it did seem like that, because it seemed like there was like that meeting scene, and then like shortly after that, it just seemed like there was so much camaraderie. I was like, there has to. It's been a couple weeks, right? Like,
well, you know what's weird?
He's like,
I don't necessarily think it is, because two things. One, we know they don't have that much fuel, so it can't be too far that they flew, right? And then maybe there's a gap from the time that they get there to the time that Roger gets bit.
Right.
But like there's one chunk of the movie when they're doing all these montages, and montages will tell you like, oh, a bunch of time has went by. But they just said right before the montages, like, I've never seen anybody get bit and last more than 2 or 3 days. So at the max, those montages are 2 or 3 days. And then he dies. It's like, and then fucking Tom Savini shows up with his mustache knife, which I love. So I don't know. That's a good, like, I wonder if you asked George Romero, like, hey, how long were they in the mall? Like, what is the answer? Because you're right. It feels like it's longer than I think that it is at the same time.
Because, when they're doing the hide where Roger gets him so fucked over and bit, like before that, it's like, Peter's like, are you good? He's like calling him out like, bro, like I know when you kind of start to go off, like,
right.
It seemed like they're establishing like some rapport there, some history, that's why I feel like there's like a time lapse, like a subtle time lapse.
I think you get to know someone pretty quick in the zombie apocalypse.
I mean, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I really do. Like, it's a little bit different. Things are fast forwarded just a little bit. Let's dive into this, man. Let's dive into this. I got about, I think, 20 of these slides, and this should be fun. You guys in the chat, play along. We're going to play a little game called, I don't know why I call it this. It doesn't make perfect sense, but I'll call it Name That Zombie, where I will show you a picture of a zombie. I put these in here totally at random. I made about 20 slides. I randomized them. I didn't look at the order that they were in, and I will show you a zombie. You tell me the movie that it's from. Again, this is just for fun. I will be keeping score, though, so remember that. You guys in the chat, play along, because every third question, every third slide will be for you. So let's jump into it, starting right here with Mr. Link. Where's this guy from? Do you know the movie?
Day of the Dead?
Day of the Dead. That would be Bob. This is the first. I don't know if anyone speaks in Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, but this is Bob, who they're experimenting on. He's like the smart zombie, which is where the series goes from here, which is something I've grown to appreciate. But I never liked it at first. Like, he's talking, he's trying to read like a Stephen King book and shit. Like, it's weird, but I do kind of dig it now.
Speaking of 20 years later, I think it spiritually took a lot from like Day of the Dead, like thematically with what they're trying to do.
For sure. The whole 28 franchise, if you can call it that, does a lot of Romero. Every zombie movie that ever comes after this does a lot of Romero. What about this one? Wes, you know this guy?
I'm not sure, but I want to say
it.
Is it Train to Busan?
It is Train to Busan.
Woohoo!
They're so
fantastic
Asians film. Know how to do zombies on another level.
Yes.
Like they not like crazy, just like an intensity to them. So love it. Love Train to Busan.
Fantastic.
The best modern zombie movie. Maybe I'll say that right up there with 28 years later, depending on how you feel about that. 28 days. Yeah, 28 days. We're getting pretty old, but yes.
Yeah.
Chat, this one's for you. Anybody in the chat? I don't know if you guys are playing along. I don't know if you guys are paying attention down there, but this is a test. Name the movie that this zombie is from. Without telling me, Link, West, do you guys know who this is?
I think
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No. Good guess. I think Wes has it. I've already mentioned this zombie. I've specifically mentioned this zombie once during the show. Shaun of the Dead. That's Sean's stepdad right there. Well played. Well played, D-Dog. I'm gonna mark you down. You've got one, D-Dog.
He plays the dude with the octopus face in Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's the same guy.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's David Jones.
I didn't know that.
That's hilarious.
That's great. All right, Link, this one's for you.
Who? It's a zombie, huh?
It's a zombie. It's a clown zombie.
Clown zombie. Shit. I feel like I when you tell me this one, I'm gonna get it wrong, but I feel like when you tell me, I'm like, oh, damn it.
100%.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
No. Do you happen to know, Wes?
Is it Zombieland?
It's Zombieland. Zombieland. You gotta look at those context clues, baby. All right, we're tied at one. We're tied at one. Link and Wes.
Woohoo. That was a good one, Wes. Yeah.
Here you go, Wes. I've already confirmed that you've never seen this movie during this conversation.
Oh,
you have seen this one.
I haven't seen this one. This is probably The Sadness.
That's The Sadness.
And you know what?
Okay.
Bonus point for West too, because I keep thinking of this movie is called The Sickness, and I was going to call it The Sickness.
Down with the Sadness.
Yeah, Down with the Sickness.
I kept on singing Down with the Sadness while we were doing this show. Let's get up. Come on, get down with the sadness.
I should see this one though. I've heard really everybody says it's very
wild.
Sickening. Yeah.
So I think it's great. I really think it's fucking great. All right, chat. This one's for you. What movie is this zombie from? Ooh, this is a good one. Now it's not your typical zombie right here, and this is again a bit of a not rare movie, but an underseen movie here in the United States of America. So I do not know if you'll be able to get this. Anybody in the chat know what this one's from? I will say it is from the 90s. It was not made in the U.S.
Oh, I definitely am getting this one wrong then. I definitely haven't seen
it's super bad. I mentioned it earlier. I said it's one of my favorites, one of the coolest, one of the most fun. I don't know if the chat's gonna get this. Underseen. I'm gonna give it like 10 seconds.
Does it have to do with the ring?
Yes, it does. D-Dog coming through with Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive. D-Dog, you're smashing the chat. You're crushing the chat.
Like his
Hayon, my man, says Dead Alive, just behind D-Dog. You're both right. Well done. All right, we move on. Missing Link, this is for you. Do you know this one? I will say debatable whether or not I call this a zombie movie.
This is oh my god, I don't know the name of this, but this is is this a giallo?
No.
Not that. Fuck. They were at a hotel or an apartment complex, correct?
Yes, they
God
were.
Damn it! I know the movie, I just don't know the name.
That's good though. This was the second movie I think that we ever covered on the channel.
I was gonna say it's been a while. Shit! God damn it!
Do you know it, Wes?
I don't
Hope
think I did. I
Everlasting.
have no clue. Yeah.
It is a David Cronenberg film. I think it was his first movie. I'm pretty sure it was his
Bodies?
first horror movie. Giggity giggity Geiger in the house. What up, brother? It is Shivers, 1975, man. Shivers is like you ever seen Slither, Wes?
That's the James Gunn movie, right?
Yes.
With the worms.
Slither is based on Shivers in a way, where there's
Yeah.
like these fucking shit weasel worms that crawl into your mouth and they like control your mind. They're not like typical
Yeah.
zombies that bite you and then you become a zombie. But look at how they're acting,
I got
man.
to
To
watch
me,
that.
these guys are zombies in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
But I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Cronenberg movies. Such a cool movie.
You know,
And one of the few zombie movies that you could even kind of call a zombie movie. Something I wanted to say at the opening. Between Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, nothing happened. Barely any. There's no famous zombie movies.
Yeah.
There's one in Britain, Night at Manchester Morgue or something like that. Very, very few zombie movies between there.
And to your point, I would, with the term zombie, I think that when people think zombie, they automatically think of like the living dead, like someone who's dead and come back. When it can be like someone who's just like again, was it like in voodoo terms? Like it's just like a brain dead slave, but they're alive, So it's like
until Night of the Living Dead. That's basically what it was. That's why I think Ken Foray's character in this, he gives a little nod to the history of zombies. He's like voodoo, because that's what it was. It was really like a metaphor for slavery in a lot of ways, or just like the working class. Where it's like we're just zombies going around doing what we're told and being controlled by people above us. It was Romero that changed them into the flesh-eating zombies that we know and love today. All right, Wes, this one's for you.
Oh, this guy looks like a guy that was in the movie we just watched? Is this? I feel like I'm going to be wrong. Is this from?
It's from Dawn of the Dead. From Dawn of the Dead. Hell yeah!
I was thinking of like some fucking. I was like the crazies.
Yeah, I was like, he looks just like a zombie from the movie we just watched. I was like, it's got to be that one, right?
Indeed, from Dawn of the Dead, man. Well played. Wes, you got 3. Link, you got 1. D-Dog in the chat has 2. Go ahead, Link.
I'm being a shitter. No, I need to get my points up. But I was gonna say shout out to Romero, because even though I don't think they show like a zombie kid being killed, they show like a zombie kid, which is
I love that.
They
kill the shit out of him.
Yeah,
they kill the shit out of him, right? Yeah.
Did they?
It's surprising to me that I always forget that. You would figure it would be like not
it's
iconic.
Like mostly through like editing, but like there's no like blood splatter or anything, but like you see like their bodies flying around in the editing. It's actually kind of I chuckled at the editing.
I think they do shoot when they're on he takes them, kids come out, he throws them on the couch and then he shoots them.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to
chat. Bro. This is for you. You guys just jumping in the chat. What we're doing, I'm showing you guys a picture of a zombie, and you guys tell me the zombie movie said Walker is from. I had to switch it up because I was saying zombie too many times. All right, chat, that's for you. This is a good one. Link gets it.
I know this one.
Wes knows it. Come on, chat. This is kind of, I wouldn't say it's a super easy one, but if you recognize that house in the background, it gets a lot easier. So chat, lay it on me, man. D-Dog is winning with 2 in the
this
chat.
Is me in the window in the background.
Evan, my brother, coming through with 28 weeks later. Oh, there he is. Evan was first, and Hayon, my man, right behind them, both with the correct answer of 28 weeks later. D-Dog coming through. Appreciate you being here, Evan. Appreciate you being here. Playing just for fun, Evan. We will be giving away another Jason mask. Shit, I might have to disqualify. Oh, by the way,
you got to start disqualifying.
Evan, Link, West. I'm sorry, I'm a fucking slacker. I've got a lot of shit going on. Okay. I'm sending you all masks ASAP. I'm sorry.
No,
I got
to send you
no rush at all.
My new address, by the way, too.
Okay, yeah.
Understandably.
I was thinking that. All right, Link, this one's on you.
Thank you, Vernon. I feel like you did the 28 days later.
That's 28 days later. The jump scare zombie. One of the great jump scares in zombie horror history. Slasher Fred, what up, man? Says, I think that what makes Dawn of the Dead such a very, very remarkable sequel is how the original movie was a way of telling how the civil rights movement was happening, and this is one about the economy or consumerism. I would say, well said, man. Well said, exactly, man. They make you think. If you're gonna make a movie, you're like, hey, I'm gonna make a movie about consumerism and just tell people that they should quit consuming shit. Nobody's gonna watch it. But it's like, hey, I'm gonna make a movie about these people that die and then come back and eat people and sneak into some consumerism. That will fly.
Yeah.
But all right, Link, you got 2. Wes, you got 3. Wes, this one's for you.
Oh, this is like iconic. I haven't seen this
iconic.
movie, but
So
this is super iconic. This is that Italian. Is this like called Zombie 2 or something?
It's called Zombie 2. You know why it's called Zombie 2? It's because this is called Zombie 1.
Yeah.
And in Italy, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want. You can just be like, I'm gonna make a sequel to your movie. You can just start Zombie 2, and then you own the movie now. As far as the way I understand it, that's how it works. It's an unofficial sequel to this movie.
No, I got flash. I almost thought it was I cannot think of the movie we had to cover. Do you remember in DHS when we had to cover?
Oh, I knew this was gonna come up. Evan, do you know what's that fucking movie? Scarpad Loves He brings up all the time. It's terrible. Fucking terrible movie. But it's a straight up, it's a rip off of this movie. This is one of the great. Okay. This is like Zombie by Lucio Fulci, also known as. No, never mind. I guess I don't have it. Zombie 2, and then some. Zombie Flesh Eaters is the other title of it. But I say this a lot about Italian films. It's like, yeah, they got their issues. There's this wrong with it. The story is kind of hard to follow. But where else are you going to go to get what the movie gives you? And as far as like the look of the zombies in Zombie, unmatched. You can't really beat the zombies, Lucio Fulci Zombie. They're so good. The music's so fire. The camera work is incredible. So Wes has that one. He's got 4. Link's got 2. D-Dog leading the chat. And who just got the last one? I'm sorry.
Was it Evan?
It was Evan. Evan, you got one as well. All right. Chat, this one's for you, man. Chat. Get ready. Ooh, this is a good one.
Oh, I know this.
Link's got it. We may or may not have covered this a couple, 2-3 months back. Remake, Night of the Living Dead remake. Evan's in the chat, so it's pretty much fucking over for everybody. I don't know what kind of high-powered internet Evan is using, or he's like in 10 seconds.
It's a brain exercise.
That's Tony Todd, by the way. Tony Todd played the character of Ben in the 1990 Tom Savini directed Night of the Living Dead remake.
Yo, I'm glad you said that, because I was sitting here kind of like, I knew it was the remake, but I was almost wondering, I was like, did they just have like a different black dude do makeup? Like, but it's because it's like, I see the Tony Todd resemblance. Yeah, okay. Badass.
He's looking a little different. He's looking a little worse for wear by the end of that film. All right, missing link. I think we have 1 or 2 for each of you left. What you know this one?
Not. Night of the Comet.
Close.
I know it's not, but
you know I should have added. I meant to add a Night of the Comet one in here, and I did not.
Just for fun. For a remake.
Do you know it, Wes?
No.
I'll give you guys a clue. He says, because he's grabbing something. He's a speaking zombie, one of the first talking zombies. This came out in 1985, same year as Day of the Dead with Bub, and he says, "Send more paramedics." Return of the Living Dead 1, Hyon 1, if I'm saying your name right. One of my favorites. I love that. I love that fucking zombie because it's almost like a plot twist. He comes up and starts talking. You're like, what? Did not see that coming. All right, Link, this one's for you. You know this feller?
That's mine?
Is it not yours?
The last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wes, this one's for you. I'm sorry. My bad.
Shoot. I don't think I do know this one.
Is this a Romero film?
Negative.
Okay.
Is it American?
It is American.
Is this that movie with Brad Pitt? No, it's too gory.
No, I've never seen that. I need to watch it.
World War Z. Yeah. It's not amazing, but it's got some great some scenes you've always wanted to see with like just zombie herds and shit.
We need to do it. I need to do it. Someone sent it for. I think 62 Lefty Blue. I think I could be wrong. I apologize if someone else sent it to me, but I sent him a prize and he sent me back that movie on DVD. So I need to watch it.
That's a curious one. Like there is a cut. There's always different cuts, but there's a cut out there that sounds way more interesting than what. Like they pretty much change up like the third act because
Really? The book is supposed to be incredible. It's supposed to be one of the great horror books or like zombie books. This one is 2004. 2004
the remake.
The remake. Yeah, it's
I was thinking Zack Snyder. I almost said that fucking what's the one he did on Netflix a few years? Army of the Dead. Yeah, I almost said that. I was like, I know it's Zack Snyder, but damn it.
Is that in the same franchise as his Dawn of the Dead remake?
I think so. Yeah. You could headcanon it that way for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever
say it's not.
They never clarify that it's not. So you could definitely say that it is. All right, chat, this one's for you. Chat, you got this one. Lay it on me. Covered recently on one of our sister channels. I guess I could call it that. I don't know. I've never called it that, but it felt pretty good when I said it. Evan, my man, Return of the Living Dead 3. Is this Lynette?
How is Evan writing this so quickly?
Right.
It's how Evan rolls, man. It's what Evan
his internet is like fucking
in the future.
Yeah.
He's got one of those steno type things.
All right. We got one more round for everybody. I'm pretty sure. I hope I do. I think I do. Link, do you know this one by chance?
Fuck no. I will say. I give up. I honestly don't know. I couldn't. I was trying to think of something clever. I can't.
Wes, by chance?
I don't, but it's a really badass looking zombie.
It is badass looking. This is Night of the Creeps.
Oh, nice.
Night of the Creeps. They're like, it's another one where I feel like they're zombies turned zombie by aliens. They're kind of like alien zombie type thing.
I don't think I've seen this. I'm gonna check that out.
It's got what's his name in it? It's got I can't think of his name. Tom. He's in Halloween 3 and he's in The Fog. He's like not very unattractive guy. I can't think of his name. Fuck it. I want to look it up because it's going to bug me now. Night of the Creeps. There's so many night ofs. You got to type in the whole damn thing. Tom Atkins. I can never remember his name. Tom Atkins. All right, Wes, this one's for you.
Also a badass looking zombie. I don't think I know this one either.
We just were talking about this.
Oh, is this Army of the Dead?
Yeah, this is Army of the Dead. When you guys said it, I was like, All right. All right. So chat, this one's for you. D-Dog, you got 2. Evan, you have 3. So Evan, D-Dog, you can tie it up, and I might have a tiebreaker. Or Evan, you can just run away with it. Last one. Oh, this is the last one, period. I do not have one after this. Anybody know where this big dick zombie is from?
You know the face, you know the dick.
28 years Evan's coming through with. Hell yeah. 28 years. D-Dog had it as well. Thank you for playing along. Hi-Un had it. Appreciate you guys. All right, chat. You guys are the shit, man. Thank you for making that fun.
Make it a case. There is a movie called 28 Years with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Later. Later is implied, I believe. All right. Well, hell yeah, that was fun, man. Again, you guys in the chat, I appreciate you. You guys made that well worth me putting the time to put those slides together. So thank you. Yes, the alpha. The alpha. That's what he calls his penis, at least. What I've been calling my penis lately. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up with a rating. So lay it on me, Link. What are you going to give 1978's Dawn of the Dead?
I mean, I'm going to give this one. It's, some bias with nostalgia. And I just had a really good time seeing the dichotomy or the contrast between the two films or the two cuts. So I'm going to give it a 5. So many movies have borrowed from this, and it's an interesting watch in today's age. Like I'm very curious to see how later generations take the movie with malls phasing out, but I'm sure they'll understand the concept.
Right. But, don't you love, sorry to interrupt, don't you love in this movie, Peter's like, they're flying over this mall, and he's like, what the hell is that? And they're like, I think it's one of those malls.
Shopping center.
Yeah, shopping center. Those giant ones. It's like malls.
They'll be able to latch onto that. Because they'll be like, oh, so they don't even know what the fuck that is. Yeah. So I'm in the same But yeah, this movie, it's laid out. Speaking of like the road to slasher, like the covered a lot of movies that led to the groundwork of the slasher. This movie, in a lot of ways, led to like the blueprint of what a post-apocalyptic or a big-scale zombie movie is. So it's, you know, still a classic, still a great watch all these years later. So I got to give it 5.
I love it, man. I love it. What about you, Wes? Where you at on it? First time watch.
Yeah, for first time watch, I think it'll do a lot better on rewatches, just because there was so much that I don't think I was prepared for tonally and pacing wise, and that's not a mark against the film at all. Like sometimes you're just not in the right headspace. You think you're getting something and you get something else, and it just
completely with you, man. Yeah.
So I think, especially watching if I watch the Argento cut, you know, next, you know, which I'm really excited to do because I love Goblin music, and that sounds like it'll inject a lot of energy into the film.
Definitely.
But for the first time, I think I give it like a 3.5, but I do think it has the potential to be like a 4 or 5 in the future, just because there's so many themes it's tackling, and it's, you know, the filmmaking is really brilliant, especially for the time and the budget. And
like, the budget's a big, well said there. Yeah. It's a big factor.
Exactly. And you know, there's it holds up thematically. I think there's so much to it that does hold up, and I think I'm very interested to watch it in the future with that preparation that there's like this weird, like, oh, we're just hanging out in the mall living our lives
right, fucking off, throwing pies in zombies' faces.
Yeah, that was the strangest part. I actually completely forgot about that because it just felt so random. Now that you bring it back, I'm like, oh yeah, that was in the movie. Oh my goodness.
It is. So we're on another like really like kind of sudden thing. Tell me if you guys agree. The way the biker gang shows up is pretty like, whoa, that's out of nowhere, but you could see it coming because they're drawing attention to themselves, flying around and whatnot. But it is like, wow, that's really like sudden. And now the movie's over. It is kind of quick. I think I don't remember exactly how the remake goes, but if a better writer were to write this, don't you think that they would show us that biker gang towards the beginning parts of the movie? Have them be part of the locals out there killing zombies and stuff.
Passed over.
More organic when they do show up. Although at the same time, you could see it. It's like, somebody's going to stumble across the mall and see something going on, but it is weird.
Yeah.
And it's just like the idea, I guess, of like tribalism, you know, like I was saying earlier, when all hell breaks loose and none of the rules really hold up, like the structure of society is gone. Like it does become very us against you, kill first, ask questions later, you know, like so I guess I was more or less, I could see it being more of that aspect, but I would have appreciated like a little connective tissue, like it's those crazy ass hats at the beginning that kind of were having fun, just kind of killing zombies, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Do you remember when we flew over this biker gang and they were just shooting at us randomly? What terrible people. Maybe we have a little conversation about that on the helicopter that kind of draws it, you know what I mean? Something like that. Could have tightened that up, I think. Savini's great. This makes me wish that there was one, and maybe there is, maybe it's out there, but one movie with Savini as the lead in this big horror movie that, well, you know what I mean? So we had something like that. So he plays these little roles, but I think he's got a face. He's got a face, just like his line delivery. He's got a presence to him that he could have been a bigger actor.
I knew him before. I knew he was like, I had heard his name, but I didn't connect the face to him for like, I knew he was in, I had seen him in, always was a standout in like From Dusk Till Dawn, Sex Pistol.
Yep.
And like when I found out, I was like, that's the Tom Savini. Like he's a naturalistic actor. Like he could have been an actor, to be quite honest. Like it never seems like it's like, oh, they're just giving him a cameo because he's an equally as good an actor as he is. He's probably a better makeup artist or effects artist, but I'm surprised by, every time I see him in a movie, it's like he should be in more shit. He could take more roles.
He's got star quality. It's one of those, you never know what the kid's got it, but he does. He's got like a presence on film for sure. Again, just a fun fact, Tom Savini, supposedly, and I looked into this, I couldn't disprove it, the only person in the history of Hollywood to work in Hollywood films as a stunt coordinator, as an actor, as a director, and as a special effects makeup artist. The only person to do all of them. Lon Chaney Jr. or Senior, one of them. He did all those but direct, I think. I think there was one.
He's a stunt coordinator too?
I think he did act as a stunt coordinator. Or maybe not stunt coordinator, but stunt man. Like he did his own stunts in some movies. Like Tom Savini does, Yeah, he does his own stunts in this movie in particular. He falls off the balcony in this one. I'm gonna give it. Well, first of all, just to, you guys reminded me of some of the themes I wanted to touch on. There's so many. I love a movie because I like to write in my notes. I'll put like theme there, and I'll just kind of as the movie's going on. Sometimes I'll add like, oh, they touched on this, they touched on that. We start out, and it's like Romero wanted to tell you right in there, like we're gonna get into some deep shit, and he wants that to be known right as the movie starts, almost with the racism bits and some of those themes, the abortion bit, and look. You mentioned this is what reminded me of it, the dehumanization that we have with the othering of people and how quickly these zombies become the other. And that goes to like the roaming people on the street with their shotguns and shit or in the fields. Like they instantly do not think of these things as people. Right. Like, they don't give a shit about killing these humans. And another, we've mentioned this before, but like I heard a hunter one time talking about like I'm out there hunting and I look and I see an elk that I'm about to shoot or a deer or whatever, and I'm thinking, oh, it's so beautiful, what a gorgeous creature. And the second that it's dead in that guy's mind, I've never hunted, so I don't fucking know, but it instantly becomes meat. And you can see that that's just like a evolutionary, it's that we evolved to quickly be like, nope, you are meat, you are now food, or you are the enemy or whatever. But there's the way that we can dehumanize an other group so easily, I think, is a big part of what he's touching on. That and the other huge thing that he does in all of his movies is how people react under pressure. Like, you know what I mean? You hear it all the time about this movie. The real enemy are the other humans. And that is true. They're just as dangerous. It's such a cool thing when horror movies play with that. People under pressure become the danger. And so
they reveal their true selves. So to speak, I guess,
And then just the thing I touched on earlier, just the inability to leave well enough alone. Like, you've got it made in the shape, but we can't quit fucking with stuff. You know what I mean? You got a cut on your arm. It's all scabbed up. But what if I pick it? What if I pick it? I can't quit messing with this thing. But I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. And the thing that holds me back from a 5 is because I do lose attention. I've seen it like 5 or 6 times now, so that could be part of it. But, like, you know what I mean? Even, like, when Savini shows up with the biker gangs and they're running through the mall, it's like, oh, it's cool. Some cool shit's going on. But you can get up and take a piss at this moment. You're not going to miss anything. There's a lot of those moments throughout the movie where you can take a potty break and not miss anything. So I'll bump it down just a notch for that. Evan's giving it a 5, which I got to respect. Link gave it a 5 and a 3.5 first watch from Wes. So hell yeah, man. Next week, I didn't make a thumbnail, but we booted out the zombie double feature that we were going to do. We were going to talk Wreck and One Cut of the Dead, and we have decided, since everybody on the planet is talking about Alien Earth, and it would be the only time we would be able to get Brother Stu to come join us, and Wes has agreed to come join us as well. We're going to talk Alien Earth, all 8 episodes. The series is wrapping up this coming Tuesday. So I'm only on episode 2, man. Loving it so far.
Oh, you started watching it?
Yeah, I started watching it. I'm going to burn through it. I'm probably going to try to watch the whole thing twice to really get it all in. And then we'll just kind of have a nice, fun, laid-back discussion on how we enjoyed the series as a whole. It's got so many complexities just in 2 episodes that this is going to be a very fun one to talk about.
Without getting too much into it, we'll try not to. A quick question. Do you guys view it as like it's completely like omitting Prometheus and Covenant? Or do you think there's still room?
Oh, I don't know.
I think Prometheus and Covenant are still. I think don't Prometheus and Covenant still take place even before?
Yes. So this is in between the prequels, and this is the Rogue One of the Alien franchise, where it takes place in between the OG and the prequels. Brother, in all honesty, I've only seen Prometheus and Covenant the one time, and they're so complex that I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Like, I don't really remember him that well. But as far as Ridley Scott has always seemed to be more interested in humans' relationship with like AI and androids and like what it means to be human than he has really been interested in the aliens. So I think it holds. Again, I've only seen 2 episodes of this, so far it fits in really well with that. Like right off the bat, like carrying on with that theme. Yeah, hi on. You should check out the Argento cut. Dun, dun, dun. He says the ending theme of this movie was very impressive because the music was so upbeat. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, the music was so.
I love it. You said it perfectly, Link. It's the A-Team.
It's the fucking A-Team, bro.
Now in the Argento cut, it's that Zombie score. It's that Goblin score.
Like that.
So it's like
yeah.
kind of eerie. It's like eerie at the end when he's escaping. And it's like it
fitting,
holds
yeah.
its horror moviness instead of completely becoming a different genre.
It's
at the end.
like the tone the original gives it. It's like it's a super sudden, like, oh, he's a fucking hero again. He's been bad,
Yeah.
but it's like it's
Right.
so jarring because mentally you're like, this dude was ready to give it all up, you know, just
Right.
kind of.
Yeah.
So it's
And leave
like
this pregnant
valid-
woman on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is really out of character for him for the rest of the movie, right? Now that I
Yes.
think about it. I never
But that
gave that
Goblin
much thought.
score way more fitting. It's edgy but it's kind of dark too, so it's fitting with the I feel like the emotional headspace he would be in at the time.
Nice.
Hell yeah. I just remembered this Monday I will be on Pop Culture Philosophers doing Mike the Voice Matthews poll winner, Shivers of the Vampire from the 70s.
Oh,
never seen
French,
it. Is it? I did not think
Yeah.
I did not think this would be the one that won the poll for the PCP movie night. So I've never seen it. Never heard. Have you ever seen it, Wes? Link?
No, I haven't seen.
Shivers
Seems
of the
interesting.
Vampire, man. I'll be checking it out. Really looking forward to that. Link, you got anything coming up?
Next week for I forget the movie we're doing.
Alien Earth.
Fuck, you just said that shit. Oh yeah, that's okay. Fucking Alien. Yeah, I'll be here next week for Alien Earth. Right.
That's it. I love it, man. I love it. Keep you fresh, man. Keep you busy. Keep your mind on Alien Earth. You don't need to be spreading you too thin over there. Wes, what about you, man? You got anything going on you want to tell people about?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on this TikTok, well, just about everything, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm stoked to talk about Alien Earth next week. I've really been enjoying the show as well. I'm stoked to hear your thoughts about it. I can't believe you're only on episode 2. Like, it's
I know
been
I'm way
so
behind.
intense. Yeah,
I've been way.
It's
I know.
great.
I can't wait to catch up, man. I really can't. I'm gonna binge it this week pretty hard.
hell yeah.
So hell yeah, man! I appreciate all you guys on the chat. I really do. I really appreciate so many of being here, playing along with the zombie trivia and all that. So I'm sure most of you were checking out Alien Earth. Come back, hang out with us next week. Go check out the trivia that I made. I put up a little thing called Scream. If you know the scene, I'm in the middle of making another one, a slasher centric one, where basically I show you a scene from a slasher movie, and then you guess the scene or you guess the movie that it's from. So go check out the one that I have now and the one that I have coming up. And again, I will see you next Thursday for Alien Earth. Peace. Let me just say, I fucking hate that I said peace right there. I hate it. Hate that I did that.